All right, take three, final take. Uh, my last take I had was 4 minutes in and I quit for whatever reason. My mind just went blank. This time, if my mind goes blank, I'm just gonna keep recording and we're gonna hit 10 minutes. I don't know why I'm so caught up in this having to be a certain quality of production. I'm literally propping my phone up against a box of trash bags and recording on an iPhone, and I'm just gonna post it. So I think the whole quality thing should go out the window. But anyway, this is day 2. I almost didn't record it today, but I'm gonna try to stick to this. I want to make it a habit. This is gonna substitute writing in a journal, and just, like I said, I explained it a bit in the last video, maybe kind of my purpose of doing this. But to lay a foundation of how anxiety has affected my life, I'm just going to briefly describe what I experience and what I've been experiencing for the last 4 years, and kind of the symptoms associated with that and the ways that it affects my life. That way, maybe I can build off of this later and maybe use it as a tool. Because one thing that I've noticed is every time I explain it, I don't explain it the same, which, it's kind of unfortunate because, depending on who I'm talking to, if I'm talking to a new therapist or a new psychiatrist, I feel like, they're evaluating you, but if you explain it differently, their evaluations are going to lead to different points, potentially. I'm not sure how true that is, but for example, I spoke to a colleague, or I guess he's a colleague. I'm an intern, and he's a medical monitor with the company that I'm currently interning with, but he's also a psychiatrist. And I spoke to him today, and I don't think I did the best job at explaining or articulating my situation. So you never know what conclusions he might draw compared to somebody else that I had explained it to in the past, where I think I did a better job at capturing everything. But for the next, 7.5 minutes, I'm just going to try to explain my experience with anxiety. And I keep referring to it as anxiety because that's what I've been diagnosed with. I don't know that it's anxiety. I hope so. But that is kind of a broad brush to paint, I feel like. You hear people say all the time, like, everybody experiences anxiety, which is true. I think everybody does experience anxiety. And I'm not sure why that mine has to be so crippling or debilitating. And if it's anxiety that's causing it, I don't know. Or maybe it's just, chronic stress. But kind of what I'm thinking, or what makes the most logical sense from everything that I know and the symptoms I experience, is it's probably chronic elevated anxiety that contributes to stress, and it leads me into these bouts of chronic stress. And once you're chronically stressed, there's probably something neurobiologically happening. I have my own speculative thoughts on that, but yeah, it's kind of hard to dig yourself, or climb out of this hole, because the anxiety is self-perpetuating, in the sense that once you're in these funks or whatever, you're trying to get out of it, but you're anxious because you're still experiencing all the symptoms that are associated with it that cause more anxiety, and it's just self-perpetuating. So I don't know what breaks the loop. You got to break the loop somewhere, and I really haven't found something that has worked. I've tried so many different things, and I haven't found one consistent thing that has been able to pull me out of one of these holes. But I'm rambling, and I still haven't even gotten to what I intended to talk about. So let me get to that. So it's 2025 now. In 2021 was around September timeframe, was the first time I experienced one of these, we'll call it a funk, or a deviation for baseline. Baseline is how I feel, and we'll say normal, how my brain works normally, or like, my normal level of cognitive function, social interaction, everyday experience with things. I'm not overtly happy all the time, but just feeling okay, just feeling, you don't feel like something's wrong. You're not always like worried, just being able to relax. I go through, months where I do feel like that. And, honestly, I wish I could feel like that all the time. I think that would be beneficial, and I wouldn't be on here right now, honestly, if that was the case. But so in 2021, I experienced my first funk, and, the symptoms that are associated with that are anhedonia, where I don't, enjoy the things that I normally enjoy. I feel a bit dysphoric, where I don't feel like myself. Have bad memory, short term and long term. I won't be as confident in something that I've been, doing for a long time, such as like fitness. That's one thing that I noticed first off is not that I was ever particularly versed in fitness, but I've been working out and exercising since I was 15, and I'm 22 now, about to be 23. Then I was a bit younger, but I was very involved, and I started to question everything that I thought I knew, and I would never be sure about anything, and that started, impeding work, performance, and all kinds of things. So there's that, cognitive inhibition, where I just don't feel like my brain is running very smoothly. Obviously, brain fog was there too. Um, just fatigue in general, tired. Like, usually I can be the person that wakes up, and, or, that was one thing, is waking up after 8 hours or 9 hours laying in bed and feeling like I haven't slept at all. And that was frustrating. And let me think. There's some other symptoms. It's all the classic symptoms that are associated with either vitamin deficiencies or sleep, apnea or something like that, or like sleep problems where you're not getting quality sleep, or either even, endocrine system problems like low testosterone or something like that. All of these bases I've covered. I've gotten my blood work done many times. I got a sleep study done. They say I slept well. And, the vitamin deficiency thing was ruled out as well in my blood work. So all of these things, I tried all that, tried talk therapy. I've been to therapy many, many times. Probably spoken to 4 or 5 different therapists and 2 psychiatrists that I can recall on a few different occasions. And none of them were really able to help through just talking. And therapy I saw through, one of the times I committed to it most, saw it through for about 16 sessions. So quite an extended period of time, with no real relief. The first real relief that I got was through pharmaceutical intervention, was from Zoloft, which is what I'm currently taking right now. But after a few months, it has become ineffective. So I'm looking for maybe a different option from now on. And I still want to find the root cause of all of this. And, who I talked to today, he gave me some hope that maybe there is still hope to find a root cause, despite talking to different counselors and, therapists or psychiatrists, and them not being able to reveal that. Maybe there is a root cause that I can eventually find, and, I won't have to live at the mercy of whatever this is that's, troubling me. And, it gives me a little bit of hope, and maybe that's why I feel slightly better today. No, I don't think I've returned to baseline or completely pulled myself out of this rut, but I think I'm definitely doing better. And it's strange because, normally it's not even like this. It's usually night and day difference. It's not a gradual get better. But I might try to explain better tomorrow, but I'm at my 10 minutes and I'm gonna keep it to that. I'm just gonna keep doing 10 minutes at a time.